Yep.
Last Minute Man coming to you from the Deer Woods. I'm with my good buddy, Mr. Obvious. And Mr. Obvious, what are we talking about today?
If you only have one gun, what would it be? Yeah. So we got the AR platform today.
That is right, the AR platform. So we have gone over a multitude of different firearms, different types of firearms that we believe would be sufficient or something that people would pick as their one rifle to rule them all if you could only have one. And today we're just picking the AR platform in general. And the reason we're saying that, I've got an LR-308 right here. Mr. Obvious is sporting a 7.62 AR-15, and we've also got a Smith & Wesson M&P here that is in caliber 223 or 5.56 NATO, and you've got an aftermarket barrel on that one.
Yeah, that's a Kershaw barrel on that one, so we've got it ready to go.
And both these are sporting a Faxon barrel, and that has quickly become my favorite barrel, and I think Mr. Obvious kind of feels the same about it. Yep. They're just accurate. They're pretty nice.
Yeah, so, I love that Faxon barrel. It holds its group, and that's what I like about them.
Yep, so they're pretty awesome. But we'll get into a lot of that stuff in the AAR. But right now, we're just gonna get out here and shoot these AR platforms, and we got a treat for you today, and that is a 400-yard shot, and we haven't done one of those in a little while. I've been having some equipment built up top, and you know, my new shop and everything.
Yeah.
So now that we've got all that done, we can actually shoot at 400, and we've got the calibers that are capable of doing it, and that's another thing we'll talk about. But without any further ado,
let's shoot.
Let's do it. All right there, Mr. Obvious. Now we are facing some hard-blowing winds today, and that's coming right at us. So that's the good thing. The wind's blowing this away. So he's going to get down here with just some Federal 223 55 grain. And I'm going to try to get a picture up and see if you guys can see it. We didn't bring all of our camera equipment with us today. Mr. Obvious, we got the picture up. And give us a 3-shot group on that. And I don't know what your bullet drop is, but that wind is blowing directly at us. Pardon the noise, folks. I don't know where you hit there, Mr. Obvious. I'd say aim at his head. You hit it. Man, I think the wind got you there. Yeah, but you got 2 on target. Yeah, we'll get down there and look at it. All right, so my new workshop here, right next to our range. And again, the Rockshore has got an AR holder. And nobody can convince me otherwise, Mr. Obvious. That's what that's for. And God bless Rockshore. All right, Mr. Obvious, we're down here at the target at 400 yards, and what do we got?
Looks like we're all over the place. But
well, you are half a minute a man.
I'm trying to find out what mil dot to hold. I've never shot it at 400. I was using the second dot.
Okay.
And I was hitting over. So I dropped down to the halfway between the second and third. I was hit here, then I brought it up. And I put that last shot into here, so.
Are you sure that one wasn't your first, or was it?
No, I missed completely the first shot.
Okay, so. Gotcha.
Yeah, I shot over it because I was using that,
gotcha.
Second mil dot.
So I guess I'll go back and shoot it, and I'll hold it like that and see if we can't get a group out of it, and then I'll shoot that 308 and see if there's much of a difference. Okay, so this would not be a Last Minute Man video without obnoxiously loud wind noise. So we're gonna play some music over this, but I'm gonna hold on that first mil dot like Mr. Obvious said to do, and we'll see where it hits.
Yep.
Let's get down there and take a look.
Got 3 hits on it.
Yep.
Found out what mill dot to use.
All right.
All righty. What we got there last minute, man?
Well, as you can see, my tight crew. No, I'm kidding. This is Mr. Obvious's shot that he had there, but I aimed with that mill dot right here. I don't know in which order these were, but we've got 2 here, and they're about at 2 3/4 inch. And then this was my furthest shot. And you're about 8 inches from my furthest point here, but I was shooting rapidly. I was just getting them off. When that wind's blowing like that, I figured, just throw caution to the wind and put them out there. So, but yeah, this thing was swinging. So, but you know, I'm not displeased with that. I think that was shooting pretty decent.
Looks like you may have fired a few shots through one.
Yeah, maybe a few, a time or two. You know, 8 years in the military. So, but let's get back and let's throw some lead down range with that LR-308 and just see if there's a difference.
Well, you're really wanting to swing the target then.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna get down here with this LR-308, and I'm just using some Tula ammo, and we'll see where I shoot. And I'm using this SLX primary arms scope. So, place your bets now.
Place your bets now.
It's only 3 power. All right. Oh. Here we go. Got a hard primer strike, but the primer didn't fire. See that? We'll show that in the AR there.
Bad round.
Dead round. All right, so here we go. I overshot. All right, I'm going to do one more. All right.
Okay.
What I can tell you is, with that 3 power scope, it requires an awful lot of focus when you're out there at 400. So, hey, you know, need more practice with this. Okay, well, I'm actually pretty happy with these results. Anybody who's used one of these 3 power prism scopes knows the bullet drop compensator out here at 400, it's kind of hard to hold it on there, you know. And what I did was shoulder to shoulder, held that 400-yard line, and I put 2 right here.
Yep.
And then, you know, I missed one on camera there, and then I got 1 here. And so we're about 4 inches.
Yeah, you can see them. They're about 3/4 of an inch apart. Yep.
Right there.
Yep.
So you can cover that with a hand. I'm pretty happy. And that was with that Tula ammo. So we're not talking precision ammo here. That's just 150 grain, what I would call just junk. And it's shooting that good. Again, Faxon, I love that barrel. And I'm happy with the SLX prism scope as well. But we'll talk about more of that in the AAR. But Mr. Obvious, let's get out there and shoot that 7.6239. What do you say?
You'd be lucky to even hit the target.
That's why I'm letting you do it.
Well, let's get in our bug out buggy and bug back over there and see what's up.
All right. And again, pardon the wind, but Mr. Obvious with a red dot It's a 2 MOA red dot, correct, Mr. Obvious?
Yeah.
2 MOA red dot. And he's going to just do a holdover on the target with this 7.6239. And you've got some Russian stuff in there?
No, I've got...
You got the Bellum?
Yep, I got 2 of them in there. So.
All right. Well, let's take a shot and see if you even hit this baby.
It'd be luck.
Yeah, I think so. We're reaching the limitations of this round. I mean, it's just...
I got no magnification at all.
Nope. This will be exciting. Here we go. I have no idea where you hit. Well,
don't know.
And again, we're not surprised, but you've reached the limitations of the 7.6239. Really, 200 meters is about as far as you're ever going to want to go with that. But let's get back for an AAR. And we are back with our after-action report. And what do we have to report today, Mr. Obvious?
Well, we'll report if I only had one gun, I think this would work for us.
I think they definitely will. You know, there's a lot of different debates on calibers and this and that, but I will tell you the AR platform is very reliable, and it's one of the better platforms out there in my opinion. You know, so if I did have to pick just one, an AR would be an excellent choice in my opinion. I mean, the modularity of it, the aftermarket parts that are available, I mean, it's way up there, you know. When you get into the LR308 and AR-10 platforms, you start running into some kind of fishy stuff, you know, what's cross-compatible, what's not. The LR308 tends to have more AR-15 cross-compatible parts, like the trigger group and all that. It's all cross-compatible. But do your own research if you're doing a build or something like that. And in an upcoming video, actually the final video in this series, we'll actually talk about what Mr. Obvious and I actually picked as our one gun to rule them all. For us, what works best for us. But Mr. Obvious, what do you got to say about these ARs?
Well, I like them. I mean, the 7.62X39's got its limitations. You know, we wouldn't ring and steel right off the bat.
No.
So we have to find out what the real bullet drop on it. I could have looked it up, but I just wanted to see what it would do on target if we had to use it.
Right.
Which with a 308 and a 223 was ring and steel.
Yeah.
I'd shot 2 cracks out of this and didn't hit it. Might as well stop.
Yeah.
And, if I ain't within that second shot hitting something, you know, the gun's out of its limitations.
Well, and I got to tell you, it's awful optimistic to think that you're going to be, it's like on an SKS. We were talking, it's got like a 900 meter mark on the sights. And I was telling Mr. Obvious, that's awfully optimistic there, brother. I don't think you're making it.
Then you're shooting open sights at that. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's just not, really, it's not capable of that. I mean, is it capable of reaching 900 meters? I'm sure. Yeah, we would call that plunging fire, though. You're not accurate. It's not even area accurate. You're all over the place. So the 7.6239, however, within 200 meters, and that's really where it's going to shine.
Yeah, I feel comfortable at that distance.
Yeah, on man, you know, in a defensive scenario, or well, that would really be offensive. You know, you're not really defensive at 200. But if one were so inclined to defend themselves at that distance, they can do it. Now, 150 meters or yards is where I think is real viability on game. And that's my opinion. It's right there with a 30-30. So, you know, within 150, I think, you safely and I think humanely can bring down a white-tailed deer, no problem with it. So if you are in a extended without rule of law scenario where you had to feed yourself and feed your family, 7.6239 is very capable.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the 223 or 5.56 in particular. I have fired those extensively throughout the years. trained on them a lot. And, I spent 8 years in the military. And I think it's, is it what I would pick? No, it's not, but it is effective. It's difficult to argue against it. A 2.23 or a 5.56 has got enough. Yes, you could take down a deer at range if you get the right shot. 500 meters, yeah, you could maim a man, no problem. You will kill a man with that at 500 meters, but it's not going to be an instant drop. I can tell you that from personal observation.
Yeah, from 2.23.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lightweight bullet. It comes out fast, but it slows down fast once it gets
and it just doesn't have the kinetic energy at 400
keep pushing it.
Yeah. But something else I want to mention, and we got the stars and stripes out here today, and there's a lot of talk right now about how evil these AR platforms are. There's people that it scares them to even have them around. I don't want to say people are ignorant, but that's really what it is. It's ignorance. It's it's to the point you're not going to win people over anymore. It's if somebody's against these, there's nothing you're going to tell them to make them for them. What I can tell you is the debate is over. It was over in the 1790s when the Constitution was written and the Second Amendment was established. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And the argument is over. We are allowed to have firearms. You're allowed to have the most capable firearm. I don't understand people's argument against it. I've never had one of these jump out and kill somebody.
It's a money thing.
But partially.
My gun has never walked out of my house by itself and started shooting. Has yours? Does yours ever get up with? Has it got legs? It gets up and walks out by itself and starts shooting?
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's stupid.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I've never heard anybody blame a Chevy Silverado for killing a family. They blame the drunk driver.
Yeah.
Okay. And, it's unfortunately, we live in a world that crazy people are around us. They exist. And unless you live in a nanny state where you got to check in with Big Brother every time you leave the house, Big Brother tells you what to eat, when to sleep, you haven't had enough rest today, and all that. I personally don't want to live in that world. Maybe you do. But no, I believe arm yourself, know how to use your firearm. That's up to you to do. I am very much for training. If you can get to a good mentor, there are a lot of different shooting ranges and stuff out there that provide adequate training. Just vet whoever you're getting trained by, and it is pricey, but I think it will pay radical dividends for you to get training. Do I think you are required to get training? Absolutely not. You are not required by law to get training, and I think you're on a slippery slope if you start saying people have to have training to carry a gun. I'll give you a case in point. The local sheriff here, the former sheriff, he and I were having a debate one day, and Kentucky adopted constitutional carry, which means you no longer have to have a concealed carry permit in the state of Kentucky to carry a firearm concealed. I think that's a no-brainer. If you are a law-abiding citizen and not a felon, you're allowed to carry a firearm. I don't have to go ask permission to carry a firearm. I think that's always been silly. I used to be a CCDW instructor, and that was something that I did just to kind of give back to the community. I never made money off of it. But I think, should you get training? Yes. Should you be required to get training? No. And he and I were having a debate, and he said, I just don't think people have had enough training, and I don't think they should be allowed to carry a gun if they haven't had enough training. And I said to the sheriff, I said, well, you know something? I've had more training than you. I said, I don't think you've had enough training. You shouldn't be allowed to carry a gun. Oh, his face turned beet red, man. He did not like that. And I said, clearly, I told this gentleman, clearly, you should be allowed to carry a gun. Clearly, you were trained. But who gets to say what's enough training? Who gets to say you've been trained well enough? I spent 8 years in the military. I spent 4 years of that before they ever let me fire a shot in combat. Okay? I went through a lot of training in firearms, and I did extra training outside of that. Like I said, I became a CCDW instructor. I had a federal firearms license at one time. I'm not a very good businessman, couldn't make money at it, so I let that go. But, you know, I've had extensive training. I've been trained by some of the best when it comes to these AR platforms and pistol shooting. Am I the best? No. Could I use more training? Absolutely. You should always be trying to hone your skills and get better and better. But to mandate it, I think you're running into a problem, you know, because these are constitutional rights. We are endowed by our Creator with these inalienable rights. My right to self-defense is not negotiable. I am allowed to defend myself. And I think we've reached a real scary crossroad in our society when you have people that can't see that. You know, if you don't want to be armed and you want to go live wherever you want to live and that makes you happy, boy, I'm plumb tickled for you. You go do you. You have a right to the pursuit of happiness. You also have a right to not pursue it. But if you want to pursue your happiness and your happiness is living as one of the sheep and hoping the bad guy don't show up, the boogeyman doesn't show up at night, you know, that's fine. But if you want to be a sheepdog and defend yourself and defend your fellow man, get the training and pursue your right to happiness and self-defense and self-preservation. And that doesn't just go for criminals. That goes, you know, for your government. If your government ever gets crazy and out of line, that was a protection in the Constitution. That's why the Second Amendment exists. So, you know, I'll just put it to you this way. No one's ever getting mine. It is never. I've never committed a crime. I've done nothing but been a law-abiding citizen my whole life. I've never even had a speeding ticket. Okay? I'm a pretty straight-laced fella. And I go out of my way to be as kind as I can be. I'm not saying I've never made mistakes and gotten mad at somebody, but I think, and that's the way most gun owners are. Most of us are reasonably reliable people. We are of sound mind.
Level-headed, man.
Yeah.
Just sound mind, not idiots.
Correct. And, you know, so take that as you will. There is a channel that I watch on YouTube, a fellow that I'm actually very impressed with, and it's Valor Ridge is the name of his shooting organization, and he's out there in Tennessee. And I believe he just does the best job articulating the constitutionality and everything of firearms. And he's a lot more versed on that than I am. And I'm very impressed by the way he's able to convey the information. So please check him out. I'll put it in the description, a link to his, actually he just did a video that I was impressed with on George Washington. So yeah. I really like that. But yeah, anything to add, Mr. Obvious, to this before I talk your leg off here?
I think you said it all. I mean, well put.
All right. I think about this stuff a lot, and it's just the news media and stuff likes to put their spin on things. And of course, we've got crazy people out there doing crazy stuff, but that doesn't give them the right to take away my rights. So, you know, I'm not crazy. I don't do crazy stuff. So, you know, well, nothing else to add?
Nothing else to add.
All right. So with that, everybody, remember, more than ever, keep your knives sharp and keep your powder dry.
Subscribe to Last Minute Man and watch us on
Rumble.